All right, Bleeding Me. Now, if you've listened to this series before, my deep dive into the Load box set stuff, you'll know that we go through all the goodies that are in the box set, the genesis, the beginning of the song, from the riff tapes, the undated riff tapes, on through the demos in the dungeon, through the pre-production rehearsals, and then whatever the other goodies are. The James experimenting with vocal ideas, there's instrumental mixes, and then also there's the overload stuff, which is the stuff, that kind of cooler little bits that they couldn't even fit on the box set. And then I've got, of course, got my guitar here. I've got an Epiphone Explorer that I have the James Hetfield signature headset pickups in that I love. And these things fucking... the tones that I have, I built these on the Line 6 HX Stomp. I share these patches on Patreon, and all the stems that you hear today, my stems of me recreating the song and all the parts, and then also I've broken the actual new remaster down into the stems. All of that's on Patreon. Go support me on Patreon. You get my edits of 72 Seasons and Saint Anger. I cut the Saint Anger album almost in half, completely re-edited it. I mean, no disrespect to you out there who love Saint Anger, but I did do that, and it is available all over there. So, all right, let's get some of the facts down. This one is one of the ones that Kirk had a co-write on, Hetfield, Ulrich, and Hammett. And I always get curious of which riffs belong to Kirk, and I thought that I knew, but we're about to hear in these riff tapes that the riffs that I thought might have been attributed to Kirk are actually James playing them. That one I thought might have been Kirk. I thought that the bridge riff, but James is playing that one too. And now it's possible that Kirk did submit these riffs on a riff tape that the boys went through, and then they selected the ones. And so maybe just because James is playing it on a very early riff tape doesn't mean that it's not Kirk's. He definitely gets a co-write on this one. This one's about, James has said it's about an emotional struggle, self-destruction, and the need to confront inner pain. First played on September 6, 1996 in Vienna, Austria. Last played June 17th, 2022 at Pink Pop Festival in the Netherlands. So what I have up first is called the Boss Bleeding Me riff. So let's check this out. So this is Kirk's melodic hook in the pre-choruses. Now, that's interesting because he's doing the riff, but he's doing it in A. So that's a riff that was kind of disconnected from what ended up becoming Bleeding Me. And at some point, they were like, well, we really like it. It's kind of Sabbathy. It's cool. And then they kicked it up to E to make it fit. Now, of course, when I say E, when we're talking load and reload material, I mean E flat, because they tune down half a step. So next up from the box set, we have not cracked into any of the overload stuff yet, but it is coming. Next up is called Boss Bleeding Me Riff 2. This is the bridge riff. All right, we've heard enough of that. So that's the bridge. And then when it does that chord change, it goes to a B. That's what it ends up doing on the record. He hadn't quite figured that part out yet. But like so many of the riffs and songs, now this isn't Black. This isn't some, So the name of the game for a riff like this isn't speed, it's groove and it's restraint, okay? This is such a hard thing to tease out, but not playing it too fast. When you play these kind of Sabbathy riffs faster, they lose power. You could kind of get excited and play that riff a little too fast like this. You could even throw in little triplets in there. Check this out. This would be metal of them. But they don't do that, okay? They just keep it in the groove. And the way he grabs that, he's hammering on. All right, so that pre-chorus riff. And in pretty much all of these, he's doing that same hammer on. If I did it slow. First one he ends by going back to the E, but the second one goes to A. And again, it's in the grabbing. The pre-chorus riff and the chorus riff sound similar, but they're different in how they're accented, okay? So we've already gone over the pre-chorus riff once again. That's pre-chorus, but check out the chorus riff goes. They're calling this the Bleeding Me demo, which you can skip because then they have something called the Bleeding Me vocal idea, which is James for the first time singing lyrics over the demo. There's no real reason to hear that twice unless you want to hear the demo with no vocals. So let's check out this Bleeding Me vocal idea. This is the demo, Lars' Dungeon, April 7th, 95. There's some cool harmonies in this version too that aren't on the record. Listen to how good that already sounds just for the demo. That song already had the sauce. And you know what? Great opportunity to talk about the main riff. So I've created as close as I can get to this Hetfield sound. Now this might be one of my favorite Hetfield riffs. This riff is so cool. I love this. Now, you astute people out there will probably notice that he does something similar on Sanitarium. That and he does some variations of that I really like a lot. Another one he does. That is such a cool part. All right, so back to the demo. All right, you hear he's already got Kirk's part as well. Heavily affected. No organ yet, by the way, which we're going to get to the organ in a second. Digging my way. So we already have a lyric. Digging my way to something.
stay. I'm pushing to stay with something. I'm pushing to stay with something better.
So this is without Kirk. So all these parts are already here. I mean, listen to that tonal texture of Kirk's part. Let's hone in on that. So I made a patch for that. Again, you can get all these patches on Patreon. And then he does these really cool things in the verses where he goes, I mean, that part is so cool, and you can hear that James obviously has orchestrated that. This is kind of as close as Metallica got to Pink Floyd. The parts of Orion that kind of get there, that harmony part. But dude, let's just take a second to appreciate that riff, the main riff, but rockin'. All you guitar players out there know how fun that riff is to play. It's buttery and smooth. So a ton of really great info in the overload section of the website that I found. But one of the things I was analyzing is they have all these pictures of the gear, and a few things stuck out to me. Number one, he's not using a flanger. There's a picture of the pedal configuration, but he's using a Dunlop Rotovibe pedal, and it was wild to see this because I used to have one of these. Now what it is it's like a vibrato sounding effect, but it looks like a wah pedal. So you have like a heel down and a toe down sweep. And what it does is that sweep is controlling a pot that is controlling the speed, either the speed or the depth or both of that effect, that sweeping phaser sound. I thought that was very interesting that seems to be the primary effect of that chorusing flanger thing. I'm using an actual flanger. He's also using an MXR compressor, but the real magic is in the amp setup because he's got multiple amps. Okay, so there's a picture, it's a Polaroid. It says James's Fender Twin Tweed, and then it's got the microphone, so it's double mic'd, it's in stereo. And then he's also got that classic Roland, I think it's the JC120. But one of the secrets to the sound is he's never just using one amp. They're using multiple amps, multiple mics on each amp. Each mics have they capture different characteristics of air pushing, and then they're able to blend those in depending on what they need. So that's why it sounds so good. Now, the other strange thing is if you can see a picture, and it's James playing the So Fucking What ESP Explorer, but he's got what's called a Roland VG8 pickup. It's this really weird looking, alien looking pickup on the guitar. It goes under the strings just like a pickup, but it's a synthesizer. These were really big in the 80s and the 90s. So what you could kind of get were like organ sounds and synth sounds. And if you listen to the recording, you can hear it. So what he's using that for, this was a mystery to me for so long. You can hear these really high overtones in that main hook. What I'm using now is like a digital pitch shifting modeling effect. But this is what it's doing. You can set it to do anything. I've got it set to be 1 octave high. So when I play notes, you're going to hear an octave high over it. All right, so if I mix that all the way 100%, you're only going to hear the high note. That's up an octave. I'm playing it in the same spot. You can also even hear that it's not tracking great. But I'm going to back that down from 100%, where all you hear is the affected sound. I'm going to back that down to maybe 40%. Now, you're mostly going to hear the normal sound that we've been hearing, but you're going to hear these overtones. Check this out. He's got it back down even more. I'm going to back it down to maybe 20%. So check out if you can hear this. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it explains that picture. Let's talk about the solo. Why not? It's the classic Kirk stuff. It's one of these deals where I don't think I appreciated the solo as much until I learned it because it's so cool. So I'm going to play it by myself, and then I'm going to play it with my recorded guitars. All right, so here it goes like this. Starts with these really cool bends. Pretty fucking cool solo. Here it is with the band. This is me with the backing guitars, me playing the solo, and then with old Jason Newkid and Lars Ulrich on the drums. And then when he goes into that chorus, James starts playing the chorus chords. And then Kirk's basically playing kind of a harmonic melody, counter melody that mimics the chorus melody. Caught Under Wheels Roll, that's that part. Those are my favorite parts of Kirk solos. He does it in Dream No More. He does it in Unforgiven 3, where he wails. He does it, we all know the Kirk stuff. He does the fast shredding. He loves that guy. But then when he comes into something that melodic, that's when you're reminded what a great guitar player he is, what a great composer he is. This has been a mystery for as long as I've been interested in who played the organ on this song. There is an organ and there are congas. Now, the percussionist is credited in the liner notes, Jim McGilvery, but the organ player is not. So I thought maybe one of the boys played organ, or I don't know, but a friend of the podcast who may or may not have been present for the recording of Load and Reload gave me the inside scoop. It's a guy named John Webster who played the organ, who was just a guy, if you go look at his credits on Discogs or on AllMusic, he's played on a ton of great records, but he's like a Bob Rock guy. He's in Bob Rock's, Bob Rock's got a wheelhouse of engineers and players that he uses for overdubs, and he used this guy named John Webster who just You know, it might be one of the simplest organ parts I've ever heard, but they got this guy to play it, and he did it beautifully, and it adds a lot. And I really think that there could have been more of that stuff. You know, we got the hurdy-gurdy on Low Man's Lyric on Reload, but I like when they experiment with other instruments, and I've really loved the All Within My Hands benefit gigs that they've done the last few years with our good friend Avi Vinegar, good friend of mine, good friend of Metal Up Your Podcast, and the other cast of characters that they get to play keys and pedal steel. Avi's playing mandolin. Avi's just sings like an angel. He's singing those beautiful harmonies. But another cool thing is in the Overload, they have the Bleeding Me instrumental mix. Now, the song is so cool and vibey and beautiful that it's nice to hear the instrumental mix. And then, of course, the other elements really pop out. Kirk's textures, the organ, the percussion, those things really jump out more when you don't have the vocal. And it's just such a beautiful piece of music that's worth listening to big time. This has been so fun. This has probably been my favorite deep dive I've done yet. So I appreciate all of you listening and checking it out. If you're watching on YouTube, hi mom, and all of that. Let me know which one you want to hear next, and I'll get on it. And subscribe on YouTube, even if you're not a big YouTube person. It really helps. And if you see any of my stuff pop up on Instagram or on YouTube, if you engage in it or like it, it just really helps if that's something you're interested in. If not, no big deal. Don't worry about it. All the stems, all the patches that I built will be in Patreon. Plus, there's a bunch of other videos over there. There's a video of an AMA with my wife. And then I've been doing breakdowns of my cover Our World Blackened songs. I did Fixer, I did Hero of the Day, where I open up the Logic session and I go through every track and every stem, how I mixed it, how I recorded it. I solo all the stems, and I'm going to be doing every song from the Lunar Satan album on that as well. So I appreciate you guys being on the ride. I hope you're all well out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. I'll see you on the flippity floppity. Peace.